Game-changing lifelines. New hot seat today at 5 on 9.
Time now to head into the chat room, and joining me today is radio and TV presenter Kyrrie Blenkinsop in Darwin and Nine's Wendy Kingston on the Gold Coast. A big welcome to both of you.
Good afternoon. Happy hump day, ladies.
Yeah, happy hump day indeed. First up today, buying a car could soon cost much more thanks to a proposed new carbon tax. It would increase the price of some of Australia's most popular vehicles like the Toyota Hilux and Corolla by more than $5,000 in an effort to encourage car manufacturers to produce more fuel-efficient vehicles and help Australia meet its Paris climate change commitments. Now, the government has denied they're going to do this, but Wendy, if they did, what do you think? Should the consumer pay?
It's an interesting idea. I think long term we're all going to pay in the end, aren't we, if we don't realise that we need to prioritise the environment and we need to do it now. Do we say, OK, only the big emitters, the big companies out there need to curb their emissions, or do we as individuals realise that, yeah, actually we have a role to play and we do need to fork out some more money to make our cars more environmentally friendly? This is not happening tomorrow. We're not going to have to fork out, and I understand $5,000 for every family out there is a lot of money, or most families, I should say. This is something that's going to be phased in. They're talking about a 4-year plan starting in 2022, I think, where 65% of the cars are supposed to reach the particular target. If I could afford to spend the extra money and help the environment, I would.
Yeah, I think you raise a very good point, though. Most Australian families can't. I don't know, Kyrrie, I think our car manufacturing industry is already disastrous. Do you think this is what they need?
Well, I thought it was really interesting to hear a rather comical response from the feds when this came out. As you mentioned, this decision, you know, it's not set in stone, and they're saying a so-called carbon tax on the family car is about as likely as an Elvis sighting. So, you know, a comical response there, but it is a really serious issue, and it is something we really need to be looking at. And, you know, a couple of industry experts have come out and said, you know, bringing Australian standards into line with the other developed countries really makes a lot of sense. But if it did come in this current form, they'd like to see it, you know, complemented with a raft of other measures, things like scrapping the luxury tax, also things like ditching local technical standards for global rules. And that would actually open up the market to more foreign cars being able to be brought into the country that might, you know, already have this technology in place. And that would also overall bring down the import costs. But the experts are also saying, look, this is a measure that we really need to look at, but you need to make sure that you're not punishing families and also the customers by passing on these higher prices.
Kyrrie, I know you lived in London recently. I don't know if you've looked at the price of cars over there, but they are so cheap compared to what we pay here. I think Australia is already absolutely slugged massively with all sorts of taxes on our cars. I don't think the consumer should have to wear it. I think the government needs to introduce and perhaps throw some government dollars into doing it. I just don't think Aussie families need another $5,000 on that budget every year. But
it's probably actually cheaper for you to get on a plane, fly over to London, buy a car in pounds and ship it back over.
I seriously thought about that when I saw the price of cars in London. I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? And luxury cars, they're cheap over there. They're hardly
But it's just that luxury tax that stings you, doesn't it?
It sure does. All right, let's move on. And there's criticism over several Victorian junior footy clubs who have decided to stop counting the score once it gets over a certain point. Now, the ruling is meant to ensure kids on the losing team don't get discouraged and drop out of the sport altogether. Kyrrie, are we mollycoddling our kids too much, or is it a pretty reasonable decision?
Well, when I first heard about this, I thought, what a stupid idea. We really need to encourage healthy competition with our kids. You know, they need to be prepared for a competitive life, not just on the sporting field, also at school, at uni, and then when it comes to, you know, getting a job. But the more I thought about it, I thought, actually, it's probably not, you know, a bad idea. You know, the argument that a kid getting flogged week after week after week in sport, it's going to get to the point where they go, stuff it, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm not having fun. And I think when we're talking about, you know, tackling the obesity crisis, junior sport, getting kids into sport at a young age is a really important issue. But on the other hand, I really don't think that, you know, scrapping the individual achievements like the top goal scorer and, you know, best on field is, you know, the right thing to do, because then there's no incentive to really go above and beyond. And unfortunately, I think it just plays into the hands of critics that say, you know, this is generation entitlement and kids don't want to have to work for everything. They just want things handed to them.
Yeah, but here's a case study. My friend has a daughter. She's 7. She plays soccer. They get thrashed every single weekend. I'm talking like 60 mil. well, where's the incentive to keep playing? If I was that 7-year-old, I'd be like, Mum and Dad, I don't really want to play anymore. This isn't fun. We just get thrashed every week. I sort of understand where this is coming from. I'm not saying don't score, but like once they get to 50-0, do we really need to count that 20 points? I don't know, Wendy. Whose side are you on here?
What a great opportunity as a parent, if that's happening to your daughter, to teach them that lesson of resilience. That's what happens in life, love. That's what you've got to learn at 7, 17 or 27. Some people win and some people lose. I've literally just enrolled my kids a few weeks ago in soccer, 5 and 3, to teach them about winning and losing. So it gives me that chance to teach them that, yeah, you know what, winning isn't everything, and you can't just pull out if things suck. You've got to go back and you've got to fight hard for the next week. And yes, sure, they're 5 and 3, but these are fundamental life lessons. I think this is mollycoddling. This is helicopter parenting on steroids. No, you've got to teach your kids lessons.
If my child was losing 70-0 and just like, Mum, I just don't want to do this, I'm like, do you know what? Fair enough. I get that.
Maybe they need to do some private sports coaching lessons then.
It's not about winning. It's about having fun and having a go. It's not all about winning everybody.
Yes, but that's the point. But you've got to know what winning and losing is so you can teach them that lesson. I'm not saying kids have to win every day. I'm saying if you lose, that's the most important lesson as well, and you take that away and you put everyone on an even playing field, then you lose that important lesson.
All right, we are going to take a break here. We'll come back to our panel in just a moment, but first it's time to say goodbye to our Western Australian viewers. For everyone else, stick around, because after the break we'll be discussing whether using kids' clubs on holiday makes you a bad parent.
Supercharged Super Game. Electrifying fastest fingers. Game-changing lifelines.
Come on! Let's do it!
Who'll get the next massive win?
You've made hot seat history.
New Hot Seat. Today at 5 on 9.
Schweppes tonic water. Take orange and lemon peels. Then you'll need the bark of the cinchona tree. Blend them perfectly. That leaves one thing left to do. Let it out.
Cold weather can make your scalp dry and itchy. Try Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp Care from Chemist Warehouse. Its formula with almond oil is clinically proven to nourish your dry winter scalp, leaving you up to 100% flake-free. Used with Head & Shoulders Conditioner, it's 60% more effective. At Chemist Warehouse, Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp Care Shampoo and Conditioner are just $5.99 each. Say goodbye to dandruff. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
Wherever it is you've stopped, no one can keep you moving quite like the NRMA. Join NRMA Roadside Assistance and get a bonus fuel card valued at up to $100. Download the My NRMA app or visit mynrma.com.au today.
Escape this winter with Miller's store-wide offer. Buy any item and get your second 50% off. That's right, buy any item and get your second 50% off. Limited time only. Shop in-store or online at millers.com.au. Aussie toddlers never stop growing, developing and imagining. S26 Gold Toddler Milk Drink has key vitamins and minerals to help support their growth and development. S26 Gold Toddler, trusted name in toddler nutrition.
At Toyota, we believe in the power of movement. It's why we made the Toyota Hilux, Australia's #1 vehicle. Now available with free on-road costs and free tow and stow pack. Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
We've all got different ideas for our bathroom, and Mondella has the bathroomware to match at a stunning price, like the square flare of Rococo, one of 7 unique and affordable styles in the range. Mondella, let your style find you.
When you put cold and flu products under the microscope, Easycold Cough, Cold and Flu Day and Night was clinically trialled to help shorten a cold. In a clinical trial over 2 years, Easycold was found to help shorten a cold, reduce the severity of symptoms, and Easycold was clinically trialled to reduce the impact on daily life. Help shorten your cold and get better quicker with Easycold, clinically trialled to shorten a cold.
Why wait to watch all your favourite Christmas movies? Celebrate Christmas in July with 9Go, Saturday from 6.
Welcome back to the chat room with Wendy Kingston and Kyrrie Blenkinsop. And a mummy blogger is at it again, shaming parents for using kids clubs on holidays. She's declared war on mums and dads who take advantage of resort childcare facilities, saying, who goes on a family vacation and leaves their kids for hours and hours with complete strangers? Wendy, you're a mum of three. What do you think of kids clubs and this blogger's point of view?
Oh, look, anybody out there knows when you go on holidays with kids, it's not a holiday. It happens to be a change of scenery or a change of location. I read this article this afternoon. This woman is nuts, and she's also very judgy, and I feel judged. I really, really don't want anyone telling me that when I go on holidays, I can't 1 day, 2 days, even 3 days, shock horror, utilise a kids club for 2 hours so I can A, regain my sanity, and B, potentially have a cocktail and feel like I'm 25 again. So for this woman, I say, I can't say it on air, but I wasn't very happy when I read it.
I completely
Leave me
agree
alone.
with you. She was very judgy, and I'm like, do you know what? It's a holiday for the parents too, not just the children. And especially if you have very small children and you haven't slept in years, what is wrong with putting them in, getting a couple of hours sleep, and being a happy parent at the end of the day? Kyrrie, I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, well, I think this woman has probably yet to learn that also when you're a kid on holidays, you don't want to spend time with your parents because A, they're the most embarrassing people that have ever walked the earth in your mind, and B, hanging out with other kids and making new friends sounds a lot more appealing than what this woman does with her children, looking at clouds, seeing if they're pineapples or ducks. And I'm with Wendy. You know, before I was a mum, I would have thought, oh, you know, kids clubs, I couldn't imagine a worse place to spend my holiday. Now I think they would be the most wondrous place. I can ship my daughter off for a couple of hours while mummy has a well-deserved cocktail. And I also think maybe if this woman spent more time focusing on what makes her happy with her own family and less time judging other people that are on their own holidays, then she'd enjoy herself a little bit more.
I totally agree with you.
Said, Kyrrie.
I think we need to organise a group family holiday and drink those cocktails by the poolside.
Sounds like we all haven't had a cocktail in a very long time, I'm thinking.
Right. Wendy and Kyrrie, thank you so much for your opinions. It's been great to have you in the chat room.
No worries, thanks.
See ya.
Stay with us. It is time now for 9.